I study the emergence of climate change denial, mostly in the United States, documenting the political divide between the left and the right on the topic of climate change, the polarization in that process. My major finding is that typically what you see in environmental sociology is that as knowledge of an issue increases, as scientific literacy increases, people believe in the existence of environmental problems more. What we see on the topic of climate change is that ideology and partisanship moderates that relationship. So that same process holds for people in the political center and on the left. But on people who identify as Republican and conservative, there is an opposite relationship. With more scientific literacy, with more awareness or experience with the topic of climate change, maybe focusing on it more in the news, comes less belief in climate change, less concern about climate change. This is where psychologists, decision scientists will talk about confirmation bias or disconfirmation bias. So in terms of methods, I use almost every method in the toolkit. Content analysis of newspaper stories and congressional hearings, statistical analysis with multiple variables, analysis of archival documents from conservative think tanks, the documents they produce, policy briefs, backgrounders, press releases. And so for people who identify as Republican and conservative, everything they hear on this topic is always, it's a hoax, it's made up by environmentalists and liberal scientists. It just strengthens their conviction that when some new study comes out, that's just part of the hoax. Some new conference is going on, that's just part of the conspiracy. The sociological research tells me why we see confirmation bias on climate change in the US, but not in France, not in Germany, not in the UK, because the conservative movement is extremely active in denying climate change. Climate change denial has become something of a litmus test in at least the national level of Republican politics. Anyone who's been paying attention to America for the last couple decades at least, but especially in the last couple years, see trust in the media really go down. Trust in science among some groups in the public really go down. And these are core institutions that give us the information so that we can say if we're causing a problem or not. And if we are, then what are the solutions? And once you go too far down this path, it almost prevents any sort of dialogue. Once you get people that distrust each other and that don't trust each other's sources, then that conversation just isn't happening.